Well, ladies and dudes, this is it. The moment you've all been waiting for. We are heading on to the last and final movie review for season 12. And my last and final movie review for season 12 is... I gotta do another Studio Ghibli film that wasn't direct by our dear beloved legendary animated director of all time, Hayao Miyazaki. He did not direct this film at all. Nope. It was somebody else. Just a director I do not know of that much. Sadly to say. Well, anyway, hi ladies and dudes. This is Rebecca Lynn Barkley, aka Boobop 1987. This is my review for today. And today, yes, is that time to do my last and final movie review for season 12. And I gotta tell you, the truth is, ladies and dudes, I want to apologize to all of you. I'm very, very darn sorry I haven't done any movie reviews that much of this year. After all, this year was truly a struggle for me. I had a whole lot of bad negative signs that happened to me this year. Something I do not want to talk about. Something that really did bother me the most. It was a really, really, really bad struggle. And I didn't do much movie reviews as I hoped. Even a couple of movie reviews that I truly missed in the movie theaters. Because of the money situation. I just hope that next year things will turn around for me, and let's hope for the best, and let's hope and pray that 2024 will be better for me. I cross my fingers for it. That's for sure. But anyway, ladies and dudes, here we are. The last and final movie review I got to do for this year. And what will be my last and final movie review I must do for season 12. So here we go, ladies and dudes. My last and final movie review is The Secret World of Arrietty. Another Studio Ghibli film that wasn't direct by Hayao Miyazaki. It was directed by somebody else. Just a director I do not know of. But overall, I really did enjoy this one very darn much. And I will say, out of all the Studio Ghibli films I did watch, well, the ones I remember from Hayao Miyazaki, who directed so many films, including the brand new one that I haven't seen yet, but I will do it soon for season 13. The Secret World of Arrietty is the most emotional movie I have ever watched in my whole entire life. And this movie almost brought me into tears. It's such an emotional story. Yeah, something that will break my heart the most. Without spoiling it. Well, you know what I mean. So, without further ado, ladies and dudes, let's head on to my final movie review of season 12 called The Secret World of Arrietty. So, the storyline is all about this young girl named Arrietty. She's going out with her dad, and for one night only, to find a couple of things here and there that they need to borrow from the human beings. Maybe just some little stuff. It says they are very, very little themselves. They're known as the little people. They like to borrow some things here and there. The only thing I can remember they like to borrow is a little cube of sugar, because they need sugar so they can have something for their cup of tea. And then there was another good side story. There was a poor little boy who's really, really sick, and he has a very horrible disease that came from in his heart. And I just hope and pray he doesn't die in the film. Oh man, that was just really, really sad to know. And yes, there will be an unlikely friendship story between Arrietty and the little boy. Yeah, that's all I could say about the main plot of the story. That is way too hard for me to explain. So I guess everybody wants to know is, what the heck do I think about the secret world of Arrietty? Like I said, ladies and dudes, this is one of the most emotional movies I have ever seen in my whole entire life. This movie had brought me into tears. Yeah. This is a pretty darn good movie to watch. And one of the best Studio Ghibli films that wasn't directed by Hayao Miyazaki. This is such a pretty good movie indeed. It had a very good storyline, likable characters, beautiful 2D hand-drawn animation, a very lovely score. It has a very good message to it. And also, it has a very good voice cast. Yeah. So anyway, let's head on to my strongest points and the weakest points of the secret world of Arrietty. I will say for the strongest point for this movie is the 2D hand-drawn animation. And I really want to thank Studio Ghibli for keeping 2D hand-drawn animation alive, even to this day. And we should thank Hayao Miyazaki for keeping 2D hand-drawn animation alive for his latest film called The Boy and the Heron. I mean, the 2D hand-drawn animation is so darn beautiful, so darn well done, and it's very darn magical. That's what I love about 2D hand-drawn animation. It is very magical. So beautiful to look at. It is absolute superb. It's just very darn magical. And yes, ladies and dudes, it is true that this movie has a few fun facts to be found. And since we already know about one interesting fun fact, it wasn't directed by Hayao Miyazaki, it was directed by somebody else. Some Studio Ghibli person I do not know of. But this director did not direct so much of Studio Ghibli films after this movie, since I haven't done any research about it. And also, ladies and dudes, here is the most surprising fun fact you should know about this film. There were 2 English dubs. 2 different English dubs. One that came from in the USA and the other that came from UK. And the most surprising thing to say about this movie is I watched the UK version. And the UK version is the best dub I have ever heard my whole entire life. Whoever these people are who worked on the UK dub did an excellent job, and I can't find one single flaw of which person who did a horrible job of playing one of the characters. And also, ladies and dudes, another interesting fun fact you should know about this film, that the guy who played Spider-Man for all 3 of the Spider-Man films that came from the MC universe, it was none other than Tom Holland. This is Tom Holland's first debut as an actor and his very first voice role. And another interesting fun fact you should know about this film, that Tom Holland wasn't the only one who did a Studio Ghibli film from the Spider-Man universe. So he wasn't the only one. Surprisingly, Mr. Green Goblin, aka Will Dafoe, was also involved with Studio Ghibli as well. He played the villain for Tales of Earthsea, and also he's going to play a new character for The Boy and the Heroine. I guess nobody knows about that interesting fun fact that you did not know about film. And yeah, another fun fact is, we also know that Carol Burnett, the one who did the American version, she's also involved with animated films as well. Not just this film, she also did a film called Horton is a Who? You know, the Dr. Seuss film. She played a kangaroo in that movie. So yeah, she's also involved with animated films as well. So anyway, those are the only fun facts I could find for the world of Arrietty. And now let's go on to the most weakest point in the movie. Well, I will say the only weak point I found with the... Strike that, reverse it. The only weak point that I ever found with this movie is... There was one character in this movie who only had a very short role in this movie. Just one character who had a very short role. And it's this character that we barely knew of in the movie. This caveman dude. Maybe a caveman version that looks like Tarzan in so many ways. We only know this dude for a short period of time, and I wish we could get to know a little bit more about this guy, who's one of the small people. Yeah, weird thing to say, huh, ladies and dudes? We got a really small person who had a short role in the movie. He only showed up partly in the middle of the movie, and he showed up at the end of the film. That was pretty much it. I wish we could get to know a little bit more about this guy. Yeah, that's for sure. And now let's go on to the characters. I think I'll stay with one character I really do care about in this movie. Just one character. And that is the young little boy. Played by our Spider-Man dude himself, Tom Holland. I mean, I'm surprised about Tom Holland's performance and his role and the performance of this character. That young boy had brought me to tears. I just feel so darn sorry for this kid. He had a really good storyline. He has a good personality, a good attitude. He is such a sweet little boy. So pure, so light, so honest. And I'm very happy he wants to get to know Arrietty. But the saddest part about this movie is he only knew her for a short period of time. And that was the most saddest part about this movie. He only knew her for a short period of time. And he just barely knew her, just a little bit. I just feel so sorry for this kid. Right here in my very own heart. He's just suffering from an illness that came from his own heart. It's just so sad. And I really don't want this kid to die. I really want this kid to live so he could have a nice normal life, so he could be a normal human being and get to know what his next chapter will be. It's hard for me to say. But yeah, Tom Holland did a really good job of playing a good character. That is very darn emotional. I don't have anything to say about that. So, here's my final thoughts of The Secret World of Arrietty. Overall, The Secret World of Arrietty is a very darn good Studio Ghibli movie to watch. Something they'll bring to a tear to your eye. It had a good storyline, likable characters, great UK dub. It had a very good score. It has great 2D hand-drawn animation that blew me away the most. Nothing else to say. Enough said. I gave it a 9 out of 10. Truly. And that wraps up my season 12 of my movie reviews. And coming really soon, I will do more movie reviews to come in season 13. So be prepared for that one to come. And I'll see you all later. And sayonara.